Hi, this is Bharat Sundaresan and you're watching IndianExpress.com. Today, by endorsing some of the key recommendations of the Lodha report, Justice Thakur has kind of just changed the ecosystem of Indian cricket and how it's been run for, the last 70, 80 years ever since it came into being. And with me, I have my colleague Utkarsh Anand, who's been following the case. Utkarsh, what are these recommendations that the Supreme Court have endorsed and what came through?
Yeah, Bharat, in fact, Lodha Commission is headed by the former Chief Justice of India, Justice R.M. Lodha. It was supposed to recommend the reforms that the BCCI required. Now, the Lodha Commission came out with these recommendations a few months ago, precisely to be in January this year, and ever since then, the Supreme Court has been hearing BCCI and other state associations, which had raised a lot of objections regarding these recommendations. Now, today the Supreme Court has approved a few major recommendations by this panel. Now, if I could enlist three of them, it would begin by one state, one vote rule. Now, the Supreme Court has said that every state shall henceforth have only one vote as far as voting rights in the BCCI is concerned. Now, this takes away the domination of the traditional heavyweights such as Maharashtra and Gujarat, which had three associations each. And if I could summarize it, like northeastern states, there are 7 northeastern states. Now they will have one voting right each. It tilts the scale of power in the BCCI totally.
And there's also this other recommendation that they seem to be in favor of, where they say that they want to divorce sports and politics, where no politicians or no government servants can be involved with the running of cricket in the country. So if you can elaborate on that as well.
Yeah, in fact, the court has said that ministers as well as these bureaucrats, they cannot become part of the BCCI anymore. The court had a point that if you want to contribute to the welfare of the cricket, to welfare of the game, you can do it without becoming its full-time members. Additionally, the court has also said that henceforth one person will have only one position in the BCCI. So one person can choose to be a member of the state association or he can be in the BCCI. Because the Lodha panel had noted that most of these members in the BCCI were also at the helm of the state associations and they kind of exercised unbridled power. Also, the court has said that it has fixed the upper age limit of 70 for the members to hold offices in the BCCI. The court said that you usually retire at 35 from the game. So you still have 35 years if you want to contribute to the game. Now, Bharat, you have been covering this sport and the BCCI for too long. If you could take us through the impact of the judgment in two aspects precisely. First, that when the court says that civil servants and the ministers cannot hold offices in the BCCI, how is this going to change the power dynamics?
Honestly, in the present Executive Council, if you see, there aren't too many active ministers who are holding any important posts. There are a couple in state associations who I guess will have to resign. But what will happen with the age gap is that the names that we grew up listening to, the Sharad Pawars, the N. Srinivasans, who have always run cricket in this country, that's it. They're not going to come back, because the BCCI has always been a room of revolving doors. So you never know who can come back into the picture, but that's not going to happen. So that's the last we've heard of them. So that's with regards to the 70 year gap that they put, the cap that they put on administrators being in power. And with regards to the one state, one vote thing, we could find ourselves in a very interesting position where for 3 years, because of the rotation policy, a heavyweight like Mumbai will not have anyone associated with Indian cricket, whereas you might have someone from Nagaland actually in power, while the Mumbai guy just sits on the sidelines and watches. That's all he can do. And but the thing about the conflict of interest angle, where if I am part of a state association, I'll have to relinquish that in order to apply for a BCCI post. What it could do, it could open the door for more proxies. You never know, you might have a puppet head running the state so that the guy who wants to go to the BCCI is still running the show from elsewhere. So that is something we need to be careful about.
But then is it a game changer?
It is a step in the right direction, but what we need to realize are these are BCCI officials. You cannot rule them out. They are past masters at finding a way out of any muddle that you put them into. So it's a step in the right direction which had to be taken, and only good can come out of it. But to say that the BCCI is just going to take a back seat and let the Supreme Court and the Lodha recommendations dictate terms, I don't think that's going to happen.
But this BCCI has been given 6 months to transform from what the Supreme Court said, from the old system to the new system. What do we see after 6 months? What do you say?
Well, what we will see is, like I said, the present Executive Council, not anyone is going to be directly affected by any of these recommendations. We're going to have the same people in power. Like, where we will see a change is, like I said, about the traditional heavyweights maybe not having the same pull for, or at least the longevity of their pull will be altered for sure. So that is where it will be affected. Like, otherwise, I don't see it making, it's not like there are going to be sweeping changes really.
Okay, so that is all that we have from the newsroom today. It is an important day for the Indian cricket. Thanks, Farad. Thanks for taking us through the developments. Thank you.